Made on Ridgeway Sports Podcast, episode 41. Hunter Keister back with
K-Mac. Let's get it.
Let's go. Back at you with another week in sports. Here to cover week number 7 in the NFL season. We are already close to that mid-season point, and it's crazy. We were just in here talking a second ago about how fast the season has went by in college and the pros. We are already approaching the mid-season mark in both these, and it's crazy how fast it goes by. But here we go, going to talk about this week in NFL, starting with Cincinnati taking on Atlanta, 1 p.m. in Cincinnati. Kurt, this is a good matchup. I mean, you would think the Bengals should be better than 3-3, but that's where they sit right now. The Falcons, I feel like they're definitely overperforming right now at 3-3 because I definitely wouldn't have predicted them to be right there. So this matchup, Cincinnati's favored by 6. This is a good matchup, though, I think.
Yeah, Atlanta shocked everyone last week and beat the Niners. No one would have saw that coming. Going to Cincinnati, Marcus Mariota, Kyle Pitts and Drake London versus Joe Burrow, Mixon, Higgins, and Jamar Chase. Oof.
I just don't know about that Atlanta defense. I think I'm taking Cincinnati's defense to shut down Mariota and company rather than the Falcons' DBs being able to stop Higgins and Jamar Chase with Joe Mixon, and then Joe Burrow playing at a decent level. Yeah. That's hard to bet against.
I'm definitely picking the Bengals in this one.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's hard to bet against. I think it's a close game, though.
Close game.
I think I'm taking like a 7 to 10 point Bengals win. That's how I see it happening today.
I'll take it within 4.
Yeah. 4-2 Dallas Cowboys. The return of Dak Prescott since his thumb injury in week 1. Taking on the 1-4 Lions. A good return game for Dak. Playing the 1-4 Lions. The Lions looking to play upset and kind of, trying to make something of their season. And Dallas looks to continue a good 4-2 start to the year.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, you kind of got to think, was it more of a conversation about keeping Cooper Rush in there? Or do you think that was just kind of Dak's job to just kind of have back? You think there was, with him not losing the game, right?
Yeah. He didn't lose his first game until he played Philadelphia.
Yeah, he lost to Philly. Yeah, that one game.
Which arguably is probably one of the best teams in
and
the
they're the best,
right
yes,
now.
Yeah, right. So that's not no. So do you think it was just more of just here's your job back, Dak?
Yeah, pretty much. Because honestly, Dak's definitely more talented. Cooper Rush played his role, just managed the game, didn't make any turnover worthy plays, and with Dallas's defense, he had a small role to do. That's about it. But when he had to make throws to win games like the Bengals game and that Giants Monday night game, he'd made the throws. So I definitely think he filled his role as a backup. Right. But I definitely think Dak's better.
I wonder if he beats Philadelphia, does that change with him being undefeated?
Ooh, now see, that brings up a whole nother...
Because that's what I was... Yeah. When I first brought that up, that's what I was thinking. I forgot he lost to Philadelphia at first, because I was thinking he was undefeated still. But imagine that conversation. He beats
that brings up a whole different...
one of the best teams in the NFC. Dallas will be top of the division at that point, and Cooper Rush is undefeated. That's a rough job to just give that to Dak.
Yeah, that definitely brings up a whole nother topic of conversation.
But I think the loss kind of made it easier for them. But I think in this matchup, I'm taking Dallas easily. Detroit's starting to get healthier, but they just don't have it right now, man. 1-4 on the road. Dak Prescott, he's got his whole offense to work with, and I think they beat Detroit by 13 plus, probably.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking Dallas for sure. I like Dallas's defense has been one of the best defenses in the league so far this year. Detroit's come off a bye week. Jared Goff isn't really good on the road either, so give me Dallas. Probably by at least 10.
Right. A really, really good matchup. 3-2-1 Indianapolis Colts taking on the Tennessee Titans 3-2 in Nashville. Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor should be back in this game, I
Yeah, he's back.
He is back?
Mm-hmm.
So that makes for a great matchup in Tennessee. What a game. 1 o'clock, definitely going to want to watch that one. Matt Ryan, Tannehill, two above average quarterbacks at this point right now, and then 2 elite running backs with, you got to kind of give the advantage, I think, right now in the receiver department to probably the Colts with Pittman. And, the Titans are without Traylon Burks, who's now on IR, and their receiving room is thin. So this makes for a really close matchup. The line is Tennessee by 2, and that's about where I would probably have it. If I'm picking, oh man, this is close. Because I like Derrick Henry better than Taylor a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I like Tannehill a little bit better than Matt Ryan, but I like Indianapolis receivers and defense probably better going by way of the Colts, right?
Yeah.
So, Kurt, I need to hear yours. I need to hear your side first. I don't know, man.
So, I'm going to pick the Colts in this one because they've won 3 in a row. They started out 0-2-1. Their offense looked abysmal. Matt Ryan has actually been playing really good the past couple of weeks. He lit up, I remember who they played last week. I think they played the Jags. Yeah, they played the Jags last week, and they put up 30 plus.
Of course, going to look good against the Jags, but let's see what he.
The Jags haven't been too bad this year, though.
Yeah, that's right. They've
definitely been better than
better than
what they usually are.
Yeah, for sure.
These 2 teams did already play once this year, and the Colts did beat them, so that's one thing to keep note of.
Oh, that's huge. That's okay. I did forget about that.
It's kind of interesting to think though. As soon as Jonathan Taylor goes down, then the Colts kind of play better, which that's interesting to think of.
They had to kind of change up their scheme. And
maybe they had to, yeah.
Right.
But I'm picking the Colts in this one. Tennessee hasn't really played too good this year for me. They started 0-3-1. The Colts did 0-2-1. My bad. And they've won 3 straight. So I'm sticking with the hot hand here in Indianapolis. But it's definitely a pick. It's a division matchup. Anything can happen.
I think with the Colts getting that first win, I'm going by way of the Titans here. I think it's close. I think it's no more than 7-point game. And I just like Derrick Henry and Tannehill to kind of finally cool off. I like Matt Ryan and the Colts winning 4 straight games. That just seems like something a little bit too. I
also believe this is for the division lead.
Yeah, this is a very important game of that division. Give me the Titans at home though, by no more than 7 in a really close game that could go either way. We'll definitely want to keep an eye on that one. Going down the list here, the Commanders are without Carson Wentz, taking on Aaron Rodgers. Packers are only favored by 4. That just shows you how bad the Packers offense has been. Wow. Absolutely insane. This one to me, no Carson Wentz. Packers should win easy. 7 to 10 point win to me on the road for the Packers.
Yeah, Carson Wentz did get hurt. They're without Jahan Dotson, so you got Taylor Heineke in there.
Ooh, no number 1 receiver either. I guess Terry McLaurin's technically number 1, but he doesn't really ever see the ball.
So, you got Heineke going up against Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, who just came off of a loss versus the Jets, in which they got control. They just got manhandled.
Yeah, you got to think the Packers and Rodgers are going to come out a little more chip on their shoulder.
I tell you what, though, that Green Bay offense definitely looks night and day different without Devontae Adams.
Oh, man, so much worse.
Rodgers has not played good this year thus far.
Lazard or Romeo Doubs is not a number 1 receiver.
No, they just...
I can't believe they neglected it that bad, and they're paying the price for it now, like we all thought they would early in the season.
Yeah. Rodgers is obviously showing the tendency to make receivers, but this year it just hasn't really looked good so far. I got to pick Green Bay, though, just because they come off a loss. They're at Washington, and they got to keep up with Minnesota. Otherwise, they're already behind. Minnesota's 5-1. Green Bay's 3-3. If Green Bay loses this one, there's a lot of bad things going on. I just got to pick Green Bay. I can't. If they lose to Washington, then there's some serious problems going on. Give me Green Bay.
Rodgers might demand a trade mid-season, for real.
Honestly.
Yeah. All right, we're both going Packers there. Another divisional matchup NFC South, Buccaneers, Panthers. No more Matt Rule for Carolina. Baker's looked about as bad as he possibly could. The Panthers haven't looked good. They get rid of McCaffrey for draft picks. And you don't even get a first out of that. It's a mess in Carolina. They're taking on Brady. He loses to Pittsburgh in a game he probably feels he shouldn't lose. Really, and probably showed a lot of that game on himself because he didn't look the best, to be quite fair, against that Pittsburgh defense. In this one, this is another kind of revenge game. I think the Bucs take it to the Panthers and beat them by 2 scores.
Yeah, hard not to go with Tampa Bay in this one, coming off of a loss versus Pittsburgh. Carolina looks like they're in rebuild tank mode, trading McCaffrey, trading Robbie Anderson. Matt Rule's gone. Baker hasn't looked too good. I got to go with Tampa. I think their defense is going to clamp. I just don't see how Carolina scores. You get Brady the ball enough with those weapons, Godwin, Evans, they're going to score. So probably by 10 plus for sure. Tampa win.
For sure. A good matchup here. Giants, Jaguars. Like Kurt mentioned, I don't really give the Jags enough credit. 2-4 record, but they have looked pretty well indeed in recent weeks. They are at home against the Giants, and they are favored in this game, surprisingly, against the 5-1 Giants by 3 points. Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk, he's been pretty good. I don't know if 25 receptions is definitely good, so I guess he had been worth that money, but this is a good matchup, though. Giants, Jaguars. Wow.
Yeah, Jags have been in a lot of close games this year. They lost week 1 real close to Washington, and they almost beat Philadelphia, so the Jags could be 4-2, but that's how it is in the NFL. One play could win you the game or lose you the game, so a lot of these games are so close.
Right.
Giants are 5-1. That's a shocker for sure.
Yeah.
Barkley
looked really good. Definitely made me look smart for drafting him in the later rounds, for sure.
Yeah, you got him crazy late. I don't even know how he let him fall that far.
Yeah, he was like 9th or 10th round. I think I took Saquon. I think it was like 8th or 9th round. Took Saquon Barkley.
Everybody was just so scared because of the injuries.
You just don't know, and he's just been tearing it up. So
I'm picking the G-men in this one. I think they keep it going. Their defense has been underrated. Close ball game though. Jags will. Think they're gonna lose by 3 points. Give me the Giants by 3.
Nice. The Jags. Oh, man.
Another close game. This will be close.
Another close game. It would be another really hard pill to swallow for Jags fan to lose another 3 to 7 point loss. But like Kurt said, I agree. I think that's how they lose to this one. I think it's a really close game. These two teams match up pretty well. The Giants defense has been underrated. The Jags defense has played well. Trevor Lawrence looks all right, and I think this matchup is probably a 23-20 type game with a 3 to 7 point win. And I'm going to just take Barkley and the Giants to keep rolling and take them in another heartbreaking loss for the Jags. Browns, Ravens finish off the 1 o'clock games with a bang. There's 3 1 o'clock games probably worth watching. I don't know if the Browns will be anything, but the Giants game I definitely watch. The Colts Titans I watch. So Bengals Falcons. There's a couple good ones for sure. But looking at the Browns Ravens, 2-4 Browns. Really what you expect with Brissett. They've had some chances to win these games and they've just been on the wrong side of it. Quite frankly, and I'm excited to see what they can do with Deshaun Watson, but he's not here yet, and the Browns have a tall task to try to defeat the Ravens in Baltimore. The Ravens sit 3-3, and I think they are definitely underperforming this season, sitting at 3-3. I need to take a closer look because I know they've had some.
No, the problem has been the Ravens. They get a lead and they blow the lead.
Yeah, their losses: 3-point Buffalo, 4-point Miami, and 4-point Giants. That's not bad losses, but you still sit 3-3.
They're games they should have won though.
Yeah,
especially that Miami game.
Yeah.
They were up 28 plus.
Right. Yeah, they blew that game entirely.
28 plus.
Yep. and then to only put up 20. I mean, the Bills defense is good, but the Giants, you gotta get more.
I think they had a 2-score lead with 8 minutes left against the Giants, and they lost that game. I think it was 20-10. Yeah, I believe it was 20-10 with about 8 minutes to go, and the Giants come back and win it 24-20.
So just a couple choke jobs.
The Ravens, they get these 2-score leads, and they choke.
Wow. Unfortunate. This week, though, I don't think Brissett gets it done. I like the Ravens to play some better defensively, get some points offensively. Lamar Jackson kind of dices up that Browns defense, and I like give me a 10-point Ravens win.
Yeah, this is absolutely a big game for both teams. Cleveland 2-4. Baltimore.
You definitely want to see Cleveland try to win this because they don't. It'd be hard to salvage a 2-5 season even with Deshaun come back for the last half.
Yeah. With Baltimore being 3-3, this is a game to potentially take the lead in that division. I got to pick the Ravens, though. I think Lamar's been absolutely great this year. Absolutely.
Spectacular.
He's been great this year. They got to close out some of these games, though. You have to.
Right.
If they did, they would be 5-1.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I think the Ravens get a big win at home. I don't see how Brissett can keep up with that Ravens offense. I don't see it.
Right. 4 o'clock game starting off. Jets, Broncos. Jets have looked good this far. 4-2.
Yeah.
Flacco looking like he's going to get the start for the Jets.
Zach Wilson isn't playing?
Maybe this was just off, but maybe it's just because he leads in passing right now.
Yeah.
But, maybe Zach Wilson will play then. But the Jets, 3 straight wins, pick up a nice, convincing win over the Packers, a great win over the Dolphins, and a close win over Pittsburgh before their last defeat over the Bengals. So they come out, they play the Broncos, and I mean, the Broncos offense is just so bad, and now they don't have Russell. It's like, what are they going to do? Maybe they'll
It's
look
a crap
better.
show there, man.
Maybe they'll look better without Russ? Question mark, who knows? Like at this point, just try something different almost.
Yeah.
Like, they look terrible.
Maybe Russ really isn't hurt, and they're giving him a reason. Maybe you need to sit down for a week.
His pride, at this point, his pride has to be at an all-time low, and I don't think it gets any better for the Broncos. They're at home, but I don't think it matters. Give me the Jets by 14 plus. I mean, Wilson or Flacco, I like either of those guys better than the Broncos backup.
Yeah.
Breece Hall looks really...
I think his name's Cyprian.
Yeah.
Or something weird like that.
Breece Hall looks really good for the Jets, and Cortland Sutton has been the Broncos' lone spot on offense with a stellar defense. That's just so sad to see teams like that, like them in Iowa and college. Teams with just stellar defenses and god-awful offenses.
Just stabbed on back by their offense.
Right. So that's a good, nice Jets win there. Texans, Raiders, a battle of some really, Texans you expect a 1-3, or at least I would expect a 1-3-1 record out of them. But the Raiders, man, I figured they would contend better, and they sit at 1-4 right now. I mean,
to
their credit, a lot
of close losses.
Yeah, a lot of close losses. 30-29 to the
Chiefs
Chiefs. 24-22
Cardinals
to the Titans. 29-23 to the Cardinals. 24-19 to the Chargers. Just knife stabbing. Oh, just absolutely gut-wrenching losses. And you sit at the bottom of your division at 1-4 right now, with a stellar offense and a pretty good-looking defense. I mean, I wouldn't say stellar offense. I mean, potential stellar offense and pretty good defense. But you sit at 1-4. You play the Texans and Davis Mills, and
yeah, I gotta go with the Raiders on this one.
Yeah,
even though the record is worse than the Texans, quote unquote, because it is.
Right.
The Raiders have been the better team. Obviously, the more talented. They just lost a lot of close ball games. I think they'll definitely beat the Texans here.
Yeah, the Raiders' 1-4 record is definitely deceiving. I think they should easily be able to.
Could be 4-1.
Yeah,
that's the crazy thing about it. If they just won some of the closer games, it's 4-1.
Yeah, they're at the top of the division with a great record, and instead they're at the bottom. But I think they start to climb back up with a nice, convincing win over the Texans. And we will move on to a pretty decent matchup here. Seattle looked all right. Geno Smith has Seattle 3-3. They take on the 4-2 Chargers. Seattle, they beat the Cardinals 19-9 in a great defensive effort. They lose a close game to the Saints 39-32.
Yeah.
They beat the Lions by 3, lose to the Falcons by 5, and then get beat by 20 to the Niners before a 1-point win to the Broncos to start the year. So an up and down year, a good convincing win over the Cardinals, who have been underwhelming for sure, but now they take on a really good Chargers team, and I think this matchup is really, really close.
For sure. It could be a battle of offenses, could be a low-scoring game for all we know. That's how the weeks have been. You just never know week to week what it's going to be. I'm taking the upset here. I'm taking Seattle to pull it off against the Chargers.
Ooh,
there's always some upsets in there somewhere. Like, really, that happened? And
right.
This is one of those games for me. I think Herbert's still kind of hurt, to be honest with you. He didn't throw any touchdowns last week. Most pass attempts without a touchdown.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm taking the Seahawks and Geno Smith to pull it off, an upset win.
I need Seattle's offense to do good. I need Eckler to look good. So I'm looking for an offensive game in this one. I'll definitely be keeping my eye on this game. But I kind of like the way Kurt's thinking in this one. The Chargers are only favored by 5 at home. I like the Seahawks to go into SoFi and get a nice 7-point win over the Chargers. Woo. Like Kurt said, I think that Herbert's still playing a little banged up. Eckler's looked good. Geno Smith held his own, and that offense has looked pretty well, and I think it's a close game.
Maybe Kenneth Walker. My bad, not Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Walker has a big game.
Yep.
Potentially.
Right.
Had a good game last week. So the next game, 4:25, Chiefs going to San Francisco.
A good game.
Ooh.
I mean, Niners come off of a loss to the Falcons that they probably feel like they shouldn't have, and they lose by 2 scores. So they pick up Christian McCaffrey. They make a splash. I think that really helps Deebo Samuel out as he can kind of get back to that traditional receiver role, hopefully. Definitely hurts the Elijah Mitchell crew and the Wilson.
Yeah, they're gonna be non-existent.
Yeah. But in this one, Chris McCaffrey's supposed to play in some kind of goal line packages. They take on the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs look pretty well, 4-2, and hard to pick against Mahomes right now. He's looked really well, and I like the Chiefs to get a 7-point win.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs here to bounce back. They played Buffalo last week. Mahomes threw a game-losing interception when they were driving.
Yep.
Well, they weren't even driving. I think they're like at throwing 30-yard line.
Right.
So, Chiefs offense, I mean, Kelsey, he has been absolutely a monster this year. Just 4-touchdown game. What can you say? Niners, it's hard for me to, unless the Niners defense plays really good here, it's hard for me to see Jimmy G keeping up with Mahomes and Andy Reid on offense. Getting McCaffrey is a big addition, though, but I don't see that paying off this week just because he just did get traded on Thursday or Friday night. So I like the Niners to compete, but ultimately the Chiefs to win by 10. I do think it'll be a good game, but unless Debo and Kittle really go off, I don't see the Chiefs not losing this one.
Finishing off, Sunday night football. Steelers, Dolphins, 2-4. Steelers trying to save their season. Dolphins 3-3. Right on that, they're both tweener teams right now.
Yeah.
The Dolphins, I think you could easily say, have the better offense. The Steelers defense has come alive in recent weeks with a big win over the Buccaneers last week. This makes for a good matchup. Tua's back in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And Carter, take it away. What do you think this matchup is for your Pittsburgh Steelers?
This is really tough to me. I mean, rats, dude. I don't know. Is Pittsburgh going to pull off another upset back-to-back weeks? I'm not sure because they played their defense played lights out last week, considering what they had to work with.
Right.
Going down to the practice squad players.
Yeah, those
playing against Brady in that offense.
Those DBs played their ass off against Brady.
Yeah.
They really did.
I'm going to pick with my heart in this one and say we pull off a really close win.
Wow.
Within 3. It's hard for me to just, take one game and say, oh, yeah, we're definitely going to win this one. But because you're challenged again by another great receiving core with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. That's just speed you don't see every day. The Bucs offense was good. The Bucs was probably a better, more overall offense.
Especially with Brady.
With Fournette, Brady, Godwin, and Mike Evans.
Right.
But with those two receivers and Waddle and Hill, they can take the top off your defense in 2 plays.
Yep.
But we are getting Minka back this week. We're getting Freiermuth back.
That's huge. Minka's huge.
Yeah. Just getting some of those guys back definitely helps. Tua's coming back this week. He could be rusty. He could be a little slow to start out the game, so that might play into Pittsburgh's favor. I got the Steelers winning 23-20, but this will definitely be a close game.
Great matchup. I like the Miami Dolphins to pull off a 24-17 win. I think Tua could start off slow, and that could play into Pittsburgh's advantage, but I don't think that the Steelers can pull off the magic like they did and stifle the same, an equally as good offense as they did last week. That's just a really tough ask for a defense 2 weeks in a row, especially on the road.
Yeah, and that heat at night.
Yep. Give me the Miami, but this is a really good slate. They had a really good week of college football, and an equally as good slate of NFL games for today. So that'll finish off the Sunday games.
One more game, Monday Night Football.
I guess we'll talk about the Cardinals-Saints game.
Oh, yeah.
That we really didn't get to talk about that. Basically the tailtape in this one is the Saints keep it close, right along with the Cardinals. Convincingly kind of had them by about 12, 13 points for some of the first and second quarter, I believe.
The Saints?
Yeah.
The Saints were up like 14
to 6 or 14.
They were up 14-6 in the second quarter, I think it was.
Yeah.
Then those 2 pick sixes, just changed everything. And the Saints were actually...
Dalton has one tipped pick six and then another just awful read.
But what really killed them also, before that even happened, was the Saints were literally in the red zone. And Dalton forces the ball to a receiver in triple coverage.
Yep, easy interception.
This
terrible read by... Red Rifle's just scared of the dark, man. It just is what it is.
He doesn't play good in prime time.
He's always been bad. He's always been bad in the dark, and he proved it again. And he throws a couple.
Up until that point, the Saints were definitely in control of that game.
Yeah, and the offense was looking good. Olave looked really well, and Red Rifle throws a pass that's batted up off Callaway and picked off and pick six, and then the other just a bad read pick six with the interception in the red zone, and there's pretty much your game. The Saints fight back 34-42, but
that third interception was such a bad read. He had Kamara out in the flat.
Oh, man.
And he went to his receiver that was breaking towards the end of the field like an in route, and that Cardinals DB would just read it like a book. Just can't make plays like that.
Yep.
And ultimately, that changed all momentum, and the Saints couldn't really do much after that.
Right. They fight back to only end up losing by, 8 points? Yep, they lose by 8, 42-34. Saints dropped to 2-5. Cardinals improved to 3-4 as they look to right their season. Who knows what's next for the Saints? And, tough loss. But Bears, Patriots. Good matchup here. 3-3 Patriots, 2-4 Bears in Foxborough.
If I'm picking a winner in this game, I got to go with New England here. Yep. They've been playing really good. Belichick has had that defense. I don't know how he pulls it off, but man, you give that dude anyone to work with, and he makes it work somehow.
Right.
I think he'll make a good game plan against Justin Fields and limit his athletic abilities to scramble and play extend. The Bears' offense isn't really much to write about. It's just not exciting. It's just their offense. It's just so stale. Offensive line's bad. I think Belichick will put this game into the hands of Stevenson and just run the ball well and keep Bailey Zappi to just not losing the game. Got the Pats winning this game. Give me 20-7, 21-7.
Yeah, I hate to say it because you guys are gonna rag me for it, but I just don't trust in Justin Fields at this point, man. That offensive line is terrible. He hasn't shown anything, promising this season. That offense has looked bad. Ramondre Stevenson for the Patriots has come into his own in the absence of Damian Harris. I do believe he may be back, so that could hurt Stevenson's production, but I hope that he gets a lot of looks, as I also have him in fantasy. So, go Ramondre, but as for this one, I don't think it's close. I don't like the Bears' offense at all, and the defense isn't much better. Bailey Zappi, like Kurt said, I think he can control this game, run the ball effectively with his running backs, make the easy throws that he needs to, and I think Belichick will have a good game plan and really
limit the Bears' offense.
Yeah, really limit the Bears' offense to probably no more than 10 to 13 points, and the Patriots should win comfortably. To round off this week in NFL. Okay, so to end off this podcast, we are going to talk a little bit about fantasy football. We decided that it would just be a nice little editing piece to kind of give you some breakdowns of, two guys that just have played fantasy for a couple years now and just...
A couple?
I mean, I've played for a couple years. Kurt's played a lot.
I've played almost 10 years now.
Yeah, Kurt's played quite a bit. I took some years off, but let's start. I'll just go with my team and Kurt and I's league. We are in an 8-man league?
8-man league, yeah.
Just all standard rules. Just a bunch of our buddies pretty much just got together and had a league. So I'll talk about my team first. I'm going up against Kurt's nephew Owen. He is a Eagles fan.
This one ain't even fair.
We'll get to his team. This is not going to be an easy or an even matchup. But let's talk about who I am starting and why. I started Joe Burrow at quarterback this week against Atlanta. He's looked pretty well. I don't even roster a second quarterback right now. It really doesn't make sense. I like Burrow and he gets the job done, so I like him there. At running back, Saquon Barkley, like we touched on a little bit earlier, I drafted him pretty late in the draft, and he's been one of the top running backs in the NFL this year. So, he's been very good in that spot. At my first receiver, I decided to go with DK Metcalf over Brandon Cooks and Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle's questionable right now, so I feel like that's a toss-up.
Yeah, I mean, he's been questionable though the past few weeks.
Right. And that Pittsburgh defense, I don't know.
We give up the most points to receivers though.
Right. But it's like DK plays the Chargers.
But at the same time though, let's be honest, it really doesn't matter who you put in this week.
Yeah, this matchup is very lopsided. We'll get to that in a second. So that's just that's a pick that I'll have to make within the next... Or no, it's not till later, so
yeah,
I can wait on that. Time. But that's a pick that I have for later on. At tight end, I have Pat Freiermuth, who's finally come back for Pittsburgh. He's been pretty much my starter the whole year. I had Conklin last week, and he didn't really do much for me, but I got the win anyways, so that's nice. Moving down at my... we have a couple flank spots instead of a receiver. So I have the one receiver in DK Metcalf right now. And then moving down, I have Mike Evans at one of the spots. Like I said, really doesn't matter, but Mike Evans has had a really solid year so far, and he takes on a Carolina defense that hasn't looked the best, so I like him to bounce back. Joe Mixon taking on Atlanta, just a nice another solid running back to start, and Deebo Samuel will round up my offensive starters. I'm leaving my kicker. I didn't even bother to pick up one. You guys will see in a second why, but Tyler Bassett's staying, and it is my kicker. He's on a bye week. That's fine. C.J. Mosley, Rashad Evans, and Nick Bolton, linebackers, are all my defensive players. Now listen, this is why the matchup is so lopsided. Kurt's nephew Owen's team consists of, these are his players active for the week. Patrick Mahomes will play. His starting running back and only running back available is J.K. Dobbins, who was just put on IR, so he will receive no points there automatically. Devontae Adams, he will get points from as well. At his tight end spot, he has Darren Waller, who is now listed as out for this game. No points. Dalvin Cook, bye week only option, out. A.J. Brown, one of his receivers, only option, bye week out. Miles Sanders, his other flex spot, only option, bye week out. And Jake Elliott, only option kicker, bye week out. So he has nobody really playing. He has a total of, with Roquan Smith and Trayvon Diggs, he has a total of 5 players getting him points this week. So this would be a lopsided win. Which is why we really said that DK Metcalf over Jalen Waddle decision really doesn't make that much of a concern of mine in this league. Kurt, I'll let you talk about your team in this league before I jump into my other team.
All right, so for this week, at quarterback, I decided to go with Geno Smith because Jalen Hurts is in a bye week. He was the best one available, and I really feel like that Chargers-Seahawks game is going to have a lot of points scored. So Geno Smith also has played really good this year, so I went with him. I got McCaffrey in the second round.
Are you playing him this week?
Yeah, I mean, kind of have to. He's been top 3 running back in fantasy.
He said to only get red zone opportunities, if anything. That's a risky play, all I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely a little risk, but hey, in fantasy sometimes you got to risk it.
Play for those touchdowns, I guess, right?
Absolutely. At my wide receiver spot, I have T. Higgins going in. He's been actually almost arguably just as good as Jamar Chase. We'll look at the numbers. Going down to the tight end spot, I picked up David Njoku as a free agent because Dallas Goedert is on a bye week. Njoku's actually been pretty solid for Cleveland when they actually throw the ball.
He was the other option that I was going to get over Conklin the last week, and Conklin failed me.
Yeah. First flex spot actually, Chris Godwin. He gets most of the volume there in Tampa when Mike Evans isn't going off. He's been a pretty solid option when he's actually healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
Aaron Jones for me at the other spot. I've only kept him in because...
Oh, man, you got some questionable running backs in. Shoo-wee!
not...
You don't have... What's your other options for running backs?
I actually don't really have a whole lot of other running backs because I have way more receivers than running backs.
I guess that makes sense.
But Aaron Jones, for me, I just know the week I put him on the bench, he's going to go off.
Right.
But every week, he only gets 10. He's had a game with like 30 points, and that was week 2.
He's just one of those players that you just gotta you're handcuffed to.
Literally.
You gotta play him for his good.
I honestly wish I never drafted him.
Right. Because you're handcuffed.
When he gets the volume, he's good, but I don't know why they don't give him the ball more.
Because A.J. Dillon's solid too, so they want to play him.
Maybe they'll look to run the ball more. I don't know.
Right.
Other flex spot is Austin Eckler, first round pick.
Very good.
I knew he was going to be money, so if you know fantasy, there's not much to say there about him. Cowboys kicker going against Detroit, you know they're going to score some points. That's a fact. And defensive players, Miles Jack, linebacker, Michael Walker for Atlanta, one of their leading tacklers, and L'Jarius Sneed is a DB for the Chiefs, who's one of the top scorers for defensive players.
Who's your matchup and who do they have? What's your matchup?
Playing Sean, who's only has 1 win. He has Justin Herbert. Kamara played Thursday night, got almost 18. Jamar Chase, George Kittle, Zeke, Dalton Schultz. He has Marquise Brown, who's gone for the rest of the year. He put him in. Packers kicker, Jags linebacker, I can't say his last name, Nick Bosa and Devin White. So I think this will be a close game.
Yeah, Sean's one of those guys that really doesn't look at his...
if he just kept up on his lineup and made moves, he'd be just fine. He probably would have more wins.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think he's done it one time.
Not to mention, he's had Chris Olave on the bench the whole season.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah.
He's been one of the best receivers in the league this year.
Literally.
That's insane. So, could still end up being a close matchup for Kurt.
It will be close. And it's going to be because Aaron Jones isn't going to do anything. I already know it.
You're right.
But I know as soon as I put him on on the bench, he's going to get 20 plus.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns.
Just a real rough spot. All right, moving over into my Home Depot work league here.
Ooh.
This was a 12-man with a lot of guys that played fantasy for a while, so this was a challenging one. And I'll have my team. I guess we'll give you records. What am I? 3 and I am 2-4. 2-4, and Curtis 4-2.
I'm not in that league.
No, I'm in.
Yeah, and
in our NFL league.
Okay, yeah, in our NFL league, yeah.
2-4 and 4-2. I've had some just heartbreaking losses. I won't even get into it. But getting into my work league, I sit at 3-3, and my team is consisted of Tua Tagovailoa, who I put in. I had been playing Geno Smith in his absence, but I dropped Geno this week. Put in Tua as he has come back, and I think that offense has a good chance to succeed against Pittsburgh. Tyler Lockett's in at my receiver 1 right now, and that's a very questionable decision I've had between Tyler Lockett, Claypool, George Pickens is kind of the rundown of what I had for options. Right now, I have Tyler Lockett sitting in there right now. CeeDee Lamb is my other receiver. Austin Eckler and Ramondre Stevenson are my 2 running backs. I got Ramondre Stevenson pretty late in the draft, and he's worked out really well. And Austin Eckler was my first pick in this draft. I think I picked at 3, and he's been very good after a shaky first couple weeks, but been very good. So, my tight end and flex, I'm playing George Kittle and Gerald Everett. I'm playing Everett over Pickens, Claypool, and Pollard. I like Everett Seattle gives up the most points to tight ends. Everett is boomer bust definition.
Yeah.
And I like the matchup against Seattle. It's a really tough call to not play one of those receivers or Pollard, but I think I'm going with Everett. And then Kittle finally had a good game last week, so I think he will be good. Nonetheless, I picked up Seattle's kicker in the Buffalo kicker's absence, and I picked up Baltimore's defense to take on Cleveland. My opponent in this one has Mariota starting, Christian Kirk, Deebo Samuel, Najee Harris, Atlanta's running back. He had Taysom Hill, who got him 11, Jalen Waddle, Ryan Suckup, and New York's defense, who takes on the Jaguars. So this is a close matchup to me. Yahoo has it predicted that I win 126-108. And I think this is a really close matchup. The tight end flex spot, Kurt, do you have any thoughts on that?
On your flex spot?
Yeah. To play Everett over Pollard, Pickens, or Claypool.
A tight end over those guys isn't a bad option if they're getting the consistent targets. It's so tough, man. Right. You just don't know.
Right. I think I'm going to stick with it. But, Cart, you had another couple leads, right?
Yeah, we'll just talk about the 10-man league that I'm in.
Okay.
Because we already did an 8-man. So, for me, this is not going good at all. Not good at all for me. I've been hurt by injuries. I've been slapped across the face in this league. So, don't harp on me too much, all right?
Kind of like me in the in our league.
I'm currently 1-5.
Yep.
Yeah, things haven't gone to plan, but let's go off with the lineup. So what I do in a lot of leagues, I notice, is when there's a free agent I pick up, I do it across all my leagues because I feel if it's someone I feel like is going to be good, I'm like I don't want to have multiple lineups of different players. One's going good, one's not going good. So I got Geno Smith starting in this league full time.
Did you pick him up or draft him?
Yeah, I picked him up a few weeks ago because
who was your quarterback before?
Stafford.
Okay.
And Stafford has been
garbage,
absolutely terrible compared to last season.
Yep.
So I got Geno in there full time. My wide receiver 1 is supposed to be Keenan Allen, but he's been hurt. And he might play today, he might not, so I'm very skeptical about starting him.
You have him in starting there right now?
No, I have him on my bench.
Okay.
Because I don't know if he's going to play or not.
Right.
So, and his spot, I have Jalen Waddle playing, who's been pretty good this year. He's only had a few bad weeks, but I feel like tonight he'll be a solid 10+, so you got to start with Jalen Waddle. My running back 1 is Austin Eckler, who's been, again, fantastic.
Mm.
Tight end 1 is Zach Ertz, who's been really good. this whole year, consistent targets, but with D-Hop coming back this week, he didn't do a whole lot. Only got 5.5 points. In this league, just like our other one, we have multiple flex spots, just because that's better. I think people need to move more towards that type of scoring, just because it creates so many flexible lineup options. So for my first flex spot, I have Jonathan Taylor, who had one good week 1, and ever since then has not done anything. He did get hurt a few weeks ago, so I'm hoping I need him to bounce off today. And in my 2 other flex spots, I have Deontay Johnson and Josh Reynolds, who's a Detroit receiver, who has stepped in place of Amon-Ra St. Brown. But this league that I'm in, this 10-man, it's no joke. These dudes, they're legit. Like that's why I'm having a deep dive so much.
Yeah. How's the matchup look this week in that league?
Not good. Not good. I'm playing Joe Burrow. I'm playing Christian Kirk. Kamara already played. Noah Fant, I mean, he's the Seahawks tight end.
Right.
Masamenos. I'm playing Saquon Barkley. That's no good. I'm playing Leonard Fournette. That's no good. He's got Pollard in there, so...
He's boomer busty.
Yeah, I feel like that's...
He's consistent, consistent 10.
Could be an 8 or a 9. Yep. Could be a 17 if he gets a touchdown. Yep. Playing the Chiefs kicker. That's no good. I'm playing Micah Parsons. That's no good. I'm playing Raekwon Smith. That's no good. I'm playing Fred Warner. That's no good.
Man.
We're looking at 1-6. I got good players. I just need them to score.
Right.
That's the thing I don't get. Like, right. I look at this team, I'm like, how am I 1-5?
Right.
But then what I realize is that Jonathan Taylor hasn't performed. Injury, whatever. I mean, even when he played, he wasn't good. Keenan Allen's been out the whole year, and Eckler can only do so much. And Stafford screwed me.
Right.
So, I guess I forgot my kicker and defensive players, but that doesn't really matter. It's going to come down to your skill position players versus theirs, and I don't know. I feel like Saquon's about to go off. I don't know. I need Waddle to go. It's not going to go good. I mean, projections don't mean much, but I'm already down 5-14.
Tough one.
Yeah, you know what happens. In this league, I actually went to the championship last year and lost.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had really high hope. Like, I was really wanting to win this year, but it's not going to happen.
Right.
I got good players. The teams in this league are crazy. Like, there's 2 undefeated teams. How am I going to compete against that? But yeah. Derek's 4-2, and he's in 4th place, so I'm rooting for Derek.
Yeah, good for him.
So, one league going good, one league not going good, but hey, that's all for fun.
And I got 2 middle of the pack teams. I got a pretty much an automatic win, which will improve my record in our league.
Yeah.
In our league, there's like a 4-man group of 2 and 4 teams that I'll finally be able to break out of with a win. So that's nice. And then in this Yahoo league, it's going to be close between this team.
It's a long season though, so I mean, there's so much that can change between now and then. But for us to be competitive, we got to go on win streaks. We got to start winning now.
Yeah. So I did a 10-man basketball fantasy draft with some work friends as well. And
basketball.
Why not throw that in here?
NBA.
To end this podcast. I'll tell you my team, and I really don't have much to talk about. It's the first week of the NBA season. But here's my team. In this first week, there's 1 day left. I am up 1,047 to 864. So I'm up about 200 points. So the matchup for the last day of the week, I'm up, like I said, about 200 points. I have Stephen Curry, Karis LeVert, Gordon Hayward, P.J. Washington, Josh Giddey, Keegan Murray, SGA, C.J. McCollum. That's who's playing for me. And in the last day for my opponent, he has Trae Young, Devin Booker, Valanciunas, Kuzma, and Danny Green for the Golden State Warriors. So I think I have a good chance to win in the first round. My other players not. I have Giannis, who's not in the lineup because he's not playing. I have Duncan Robinson and Bobby Portis to run out my lineup. And we'll kind of keep that updated. I'm sure we'll get into talking about basketball some more when the football stuff died down. But we're starting off looking good on that. Should get a win unless one of them players for him goes off. But should be a week 1 win. So that'll be it. 51 minutes. Nice little podcast with some NFL, some fantasy football, and some fantasy basketball. So I like it. Episode 41 in the books, made on Ridgeway Sports Podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, leave some feedback, and we'll see y'all next time.
Peace out.
Peace.